Tilling is a form of deep cultivation and is important to the garden because, Bonnie, stop teasing Napoleon. Part of being self-reliant and self-sufficient on the homestead is using a tiller to till your garden so you can grow your own vegetables. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, whatever else you want to do. So let's get to tilling up the garden with this tiller that I purchased a couple years ago, and we made our garden from a scrubby wooded area that was all like scrub maple trees and things. And let's get that thing tilled up. One of the first things that I did when I got this tiller, I have a history, I've been tilling all my life since I was a teenager, this is the lever that engages the tines to spin. And when it came, it was on the top side, so you held it down with your hand. And to me, that is completely foreign. So I switched it over. I had to change the linkage up a little bit, do some work, but I put it on the bottom so you squeeze it up, and then while you're tilling, and then if you need to, you can let go of it and still hold on to the grip. Where if it was up above, you had to actually remove your hand and then put your hand back. So this way is much more natural. You're holding it while you're tilling, and you just let go and then grab the handle back. So it just seems like the right way to do it to me. Flip the switch on, turn the choke on, and then give the cord a good pull to start up the engine. Let it run for a minute or two, then turn the choke off. Be sure to wear ear protection, eye protection, and gloves on your hands. We have had a very rainy, wet winter and spring. Time is getting away from us, and we really need to get the garden prepared for this season. Tomorrow is supposed to be severe and stormy weather again with more rain. Unbelievable! Several inches of rain. Why have a garden in the first place? Why not just buy your vegetables at the grocery store? We all know that in today's so-called modern world, eating healthy is more expensive than eating store-bought processed food. Why do you grow your own food? Why do you have a garden? Hey, share your reasons in the comments. Why do we cultivate the garden? What's the difference between cultivating and tilling? Cultivating is done to remove the weeds that you see already growing and to loosen and break up the soil so water can soak in better. Tilling is a form of deep cultivation, farther down into the soil. You might do this with a new garden. I'm basically trying to just till the top of the soil, breaking it up and getting rid of the weeds, which is always a huge challenge for us to stay ahead of. Weeds, weeds, weeds. During the winter, we throw the wood stove ashes on the garden and a little of the chicken coop bedding too. So I want to get this incorporated down in the soil. I'm making a fairly quick pass over the soil to just mix it up, going back and forth from one side of the garden to the other side, back and forth, turning the tiller around at each end and continuing on in the other direction. Once I have completed the pass over the garden in one direction, then I want to do the same thing perpendicular, going side to side, the other direction, going back and forth, keeping the tiller just in the top of the soil. And it wants to dig in deeper because the soil is getting loosened up now. You may be a fan of no-till gardening. Hey, that's cool. No-till garden is a great method. turn around, and back and forth we go. Why even get a tiller in the first place? Go ahead and garden without tilling. You know, there are pros and cons to every system out there. What are your favorite plants to grow in your garden? Let me know in the comments. I think a tiller is a great tool to help us self-sufficient homesteaders prepare and take care of our gardens. Then I will do one more shallow pass the same direction as I did the first time, just to be sure. Again, the soil's a bit wet, but we will be getting even more rain tomorrow, and then it will definitely be way, way too wet to till, to cultivate. And the weeds will just be getting too much. More weeds. We sure don't want that. You want to just go deep enough to break up the soil, but not go too deep and cause other problems. It's weird to think about it, but you can damage soil by overdoing it. You don't want to create air pockets in the soil. I think a tiller is a great tool to help us self-sufficient homesteaders prepare and take care of our gardens. Yes, like any tool, you must use it wisely. Use it correctly. It's nice to be outside and doing something you know is helping feed and take care of your family with nutritious food. Good and healthy food. There is a lot of waste in store-bought food. How you control the tiller you've got the wheels here, and then you've got this post, and it's adjustable, and it goes up and down. And this thing has this odd system. I've never seen this before, but when the wheels are forward, that's the way you maneuver it. Oop, get out of the way, Bonnie. Go on. That's the way when you push it around, you just want to walk it around. And then when you want to till, you raise it up and rotate this back, and then this pin drops down into the dirt, and then depending on how high or low you have it set is how much grab the tines have when they're spinning. And then when you want to go a little bit faster, you raise up on the tiller and it'll move along. And if you get a spot where you need to till in the same spot, you press down, and that holds the tiller in place, and it lets the tines turn and turn and turn. And then when you get the depth that you want, you just raise it up and then continue on. So if you have a friend that wants to grow a garden, that wants to be self-sufficient on their homestead and some self-reliance too, talk to them about having a tiller. And they come in different models, front tines, rear tines, all different kinds. And help your friend out by sharing this video with them so they can learn how to till their garden and be self-sufficient. It's all about you living happy, living fun-loving, and living carefree on your homestead with your tilled garden. Live life DIY. Bonnie, would you quit pestering Napoleon?